When we talk about leaders, after the vision of timeless leaders, greatest leaders of all time settle down, we tend to look around us and sometimes within us to get examples from the common masses, from the people we already know, among the influencers and enablers who are making an impact in their own little ways. Their stories might be unheard of, but they are important to share. They might not be famous, but they are successful in their purpose. Maybe because they are the juggernauts when it comes to art of leading. I'm delighted to welcome one of such defining personalities, a Vitan member. I assure you that this session is going to leave deep impressions in our hearts, coming from someone whose life is dedicated to public services in the realm of realities of our society. So let us begin to know Anand Kumar Pandey, Deputy Superintendent of Police, Bihar. Anand sir, it would be an understatement if you are introduced by anyone else but you. So let us know who you are in and beyond your administrative role.
Thank you, Sweta. And also, I'm thankful to Prerna and Anil who are the part of this panel discussion. What I have done engineering from that premier institute, and after that, I switched from one company to another. I cleared Indian Engineering Services, worked there for 5 years, and then I joined police service and working here from last 11 and a half year. So I have a mixed experience of all sectors like private sectors, government sectors, administrative sectors, police sector. Like right now, in official capacity as well as in private capacity, I am a family man as well as, you may say, a social worker.
Now, getting to know about the prolific background that you just shared, I'm eager to ask about your trajectory. I mean, when you look back, the beginning from BIT Sindri, when there was a young boy struggling to get into an engineering college or think aloud in Sarjana, to someone like you are today, thriving in your own domain, what transitions have you seen in yourself as a personality and as an overall human being? What are those changes that you would like to share with us?
Myself as a careless child who was always involved in fun and joy, and then I joined engineering college. There was a huge competitive world. I have to search for a better job. So then I become a serious student, and after that I joined this police services where I had to regularly interact with politicians, bureaucrats, judiciary, journalists, and various strata of the society. So I think from a careless, joyful boy to a person who has to adopt the quality of diplomat as well as politician, as well as, you see, even application of technology in administration. So I think there have been various phases which brought changes inside me, and now I think that all the changes all the past experiences, what I get from my school, from family, from engineering college, staying with family members, staying with and interacting with Sajana family members, I think all are useful when I find myself today in administrative capacity. Because at this time, the job is so serious and it has wider implications that one wrong decision may create huge uproar across the society, and it may impact the life of many directly. So definitely there has been many phases of transition and changes, but I'm fortunate to God. I'm fortunate and thankful to God that I got opportunity to meet with such a nice person and many good teachers good seniors who always supported me to inculcate the quality of being a good manager, a good leader. Still, I'm learning these traits, but definitely, I think that I'm improving day by day to serve the society, to serve the nation for a better cause.
That is the most important thing, sir, to improve day by day. Take yourself a little better than yesterday. Thank you so much, Anand, sir. While we are on this topic of talking about commons, we all started with being a carefree and careless person, and now here we are taking on bigger responsibilities. So let me just push both of you towards the another common association with Sarjana, which already you have talked in bits and pieces. But again, from my personal experience,
From
from
the
the
moment
moment
Sarjana found me, there was a vibration inside, and it still resonates as strong as it resonated 10 years back.
So, what is the place of Sarchana in your life? Any life changing moment or any particular experience that you would like to share?
As I told you that I was a bit careful before joining BIT Sindri, and when I joined Sarjana, it stimulated my reading and writing habits and enriched my literary skills. What I realized that books are the only real and best friend of a person, because in individual capacity I am living, spending a life of Anand Pandey, or might be a police officer, but through books we are able to know about not our society but our culture, spiritual life, religious life, social aspect and cultural aspect of our country and the whole world. So it gives you multiple opportunity to learn about the whole world, different dimensions of life and society. So it enhances the intellectual capacity, what I feel, what it did to me. Uh, Now I'm engaged in the hectic and strenuous work of police who work for 18 hours a day, and I get little opportunity to read and write these days. Yeah. Then I realized that no, I my life is being stagnant on intellectual side. So there must be horizontal as well as vertical growth of one's personality, and this I was bestowed by Sarjana. When I joined Sarjana, I started reading many books. I came I came in touch with Raviji, Ramesh, even juniors. They hinted me about many books which I was not knowing. Internet was not at that those days, so I picked and selected. Then I feel that it also increases the emotional aspect of my persona. So literature, this is the beauty of literature, that it not only develops the intellectual skills, but also keeps on moving the emotional aspects of my life. What I think now we are living in the jungles of concrete. So it is the Sarjana which tilted more towards the books, and it is the books which gave me opportunity to know about myself, my history, the history of India, history of world, philosophy, art, everything. So I cannot ignore the importance of literature in my knowledge building, and definitely Sajana is basic to it. That's all.
very truly said, sir. Sarjana for all of us is like a temple that we all want to return to, no matter where and how far we have gone to. And listening to all the two of you, I just reminded of the fact that we cannot define ourselves as one single personality. There are so many personalities living within us. But one of the defining personalities is the work that we do, our career. And unfortunately, in Indian societies, most of the careers are derived from the public opinion at large. So, I would like to ask Anand sir, first of all, you, what are the myths related to your profession, and what is the magical part that you enjoy in your profession?
Myth You know, the people of India and especially Bihar are very religious, and there is a very fine line between belief and superstition, myth, and sometimes belief. So there are many beliefs which sometimes, by following blindly, it turns into myth. Like there are the days when we worship our weapons because they are the best friend when we go to encounter like that. Daily worshipping to God at workplace. This may feel uncomfort to many persons, but definitely it has positive aspects also. Worshipping to weapon like that, or doing a work, starting a work before worshipping, um, first worshipping the god, then starting some good work, is much prevalent in police society. So it makes the society, the policeman, always remindful of God, always remindful of the duty that this is the weapon, this is very pious, and it should be used very carefully because it may have major ramifications of it. So these are the myths. Power, definitely, as we know that India has a way, India has a least ratio of police to person per thousand. And in Bihar, that is the lowest of our country. So suppose that one person per thousand people is policeman. So you may feel that one person may have to cater the need of 1,000 person. Expectations are how much? It might be 1.3 for UP like that, 2 for Delhi. So numbers, in number, uh, the police person are very less. Expectations are high. Whenever any person feel any difficulty by unsocial persons, scoundrels, criminals, they look upon us. This police service is emergency services. So the expectations, the strenuous and the urgent nature of job, it arises a sense of urgency, the sense of extra effort in our duty. Each second film is based on the life of some police person. Why it is so? Because they give direct justice, immediate justice to common person. Definitely, court is the another platform where person goes for justice, but it takes years. But it is the magic of police. You told what is the magic? It is the magic of police which can deliver instant justice to person. If the policeman or policewoman is very serious towards his job, a person whose daughter is kidnapped, a father whose son is killed, when there are many instances when we deliver quick justice, we perform our job and wipe the tear of a person, and this gives immense pleasure. And these are the magical things I think associated with my job, which I enjoy every day.
Thank you, Anand sir. I can't express how much non-verbal salutation is coming in my mind just by listening to you. The two takeaways from whatever you said. One was regarding the myth that there should be a fine balance between your personal beliefs and the profession that is demanding something, another thing from you. So there should not be any mixture in both of the things. And given the size of the Indian population, the pride that every Indian policeman takes to meet the expectation of so many people on his shoulders is really, really wonderful. Thank you so much, Anand sir. Anand sir, police services is a system-based line that needs upgradation with changing times. So, what do you think? How technology is helping you nowadays for making the system more effective? And how easily people in your line are grasping these technology changes that are happening so fast?
Uh, Lord Buddha says that change is universal. A person who doesn't adapt to the changes will not able to survive properly. So as the new aspects of technologies are coming, definitely it is enabling the whole society towards betterment. Police is, as a part of society, has to accept and absorb the benefits, the skills of technology to make it more effective, efficient. Earlier, crimes were committed and the policing was based on traditional techniques, based on human intelligence. Criminals were caught, third degree interrogation were applied to them, and then confession were extracted. Now the world has become very fast. So it is technology which has strengthened, empowered the police. Now it is using CCTV camera to gather evidences. Now it is collecting evidences based upon call data records, that is called CDR, IP data records. These are scientific aspects. Even in cases of murder, like histopathology, DNA forensics comes into light, which give opportunity to move in scientific way, which may more thwarting effect against the crime and criminals. So technology is inevitable. No person in any aspect of human life can ignore it. So definitely it has become now mandatory for every person, including policemen, to go with it. Definitely, if technology is enabling police person, technology is enabling administrators, then definitely it is also giving extra tools to wrongdoers or person who is standing on other side also. So it is a competition always, and the person who is more committed to work, who is more eager to learn it, who is dedicated, who is decided, will win the battle. Definitely, we have the system, we have the help of administration, government, so it gives us added advantage, and that's why without technology, nowadays police or any person of any field cannot survive. So its acceptability is now widely known, widely agreed, and police personnel are accepting it.
Nice to hear that because, as you said, I totally second to this that only static is change, and those who agree to change with the changing times, they exactly know how to survive and thrive. And this integration of IT services into police line or any administrative line is the added benefit that we all are accepting to the changes. So the next question is a little bit different from what we were talking about so far. In the fast-paced, ever-evolving digital world where our lives are bare open, it is open to everyone, and we have got an easy access to each and everyone's life. Our emotions are quite on verge of impulsion. So, do you think we have decoded how to control the highly stimulated zone of emotions? And if yes, what is your mantra when you talk about emotional intelligence? Anand sir, we will start with you.
Yes, Sweta, we all know that how the lifestyle, the social norms are changing after the advent of this digital technology. A family sitting on a holiday, they are not spending time with each other. Everyone has, from child, wife, husband, father, everyone has their individual mobile and they are spending time. No one is going out for a picnic, for a park like that. They are doing something on mobile. So emotional attachment is depreciating day by day. Now you say the impact of this digital platform also. People are playing virtual cricket, virtual football. What is this? Even I have heard that there is e-marriage like of thing, and people are sending e-laddus. So these are some of the repercussions of technology. Definitely, this is having a very bad impact on youth, children who are not focusing on the social aspects of family life, social life, like that. So, emotional intelligence, which comes through interactions, which comes through care, which comes through intermingling, these things are not getting importance these days. It is now a time for alarm. We should take decisive steps to shape the future of our coming generations. Emotions, which makes a human different from animals or stones, is the special trait to living beings, human beings. So it is time to sit intellectuals to decide that how it can be again reinculcated into, infused, reinfused into the society, especially the youth and children. The Here comes the role of literature. In literature, there are a lot of emotional aspects when a reader goes through it. When a person knows a glorious aspects of history, glorious aspect of the social norms, ethical values, moral values, this makes a person a real human being. Apart from, you may say that a money-minded person, or you may say a robotic pattern of thing, cyborg. So definitely these digital technologies are depreciating our emotional aspect of life, social aspect of life. So it must be countered properly. And the way is to infuse the values of ethics, spirit, morality into family, into the mind of children. And how this could be happen by leading a good example of father, mother, teacher, encouraging them to read books. That's why here the importance of literature, and the organizations, institutes like Sarna comes here, Pitan comes here. This is the beauty of this book also. So leading a comprehensive life, enlightening youth about not spending a lopsided life, is the real mantra to control or to revive the intelligence and emotional intelligence in balanced way. That's all.
Thank you so much, Anand sir. So many beautiful takeaways I can count on this little piece of yours. Reading a comprehensive line vis-a-vis digital content, cheap digital content that we can get from scrolling our mobile phones. Which one will you choose? Now, you all must be knowing that a person with an average IQ versus a person with a strong EQ, who will succeed more. So there are lots of vis-a-vis that we have to choose upon, and it's a high time that we incorporate and inculcate a digital discipline among our family members, among ourselves, so that we get closer to real people and not the virtual world. So thank you so much, Anand sir. Anand sir, in the same league of emotional intelligence, conflict management is one of the elemental aspects of your work. So, what traits should one focus upon to deal with conflicts and avoid situations where the two parties are not in agreement and you have to act as a neutral body?
So you see, not all the conflicts are bad. Uh, Mary Parker Follett has given the concept of constructive conflict. Anil must be aware. But definitely, we are human being. We have a particular way of thinking. We have our uh, we have our preferences. We have our backgrounds, which make us our thinking process, decision making. So these are the basis of arising conflicts. The job of police is very strenuous, urgent, emergency based. So many a time we come across various types of conflict in which police is on one side and on another side there might be public, politician, judiciary, press, or media persons, bureaucrats like that. But this is how life goes ahead. In family also, conflict arises, but we have to make a way. I think the Buddha's philosophy of adopting middle path, Madhyam Marg, is the best way to resolve the conflicts. So, in my view, there may be four ways to resolve the conflict. Anil might be more systematic in explaining the way of conflict management, but I think that we should stay calm during these situations. Second, maybe sometimes we may have delayed response. We may have wider thinking horizon to balance all the aspects of our decisions before going ahead, careful listening to the demands, views of others, and accommodating the justified views of other parties may some of the methods for conflict uh, resolution, conflict management. But it is a conflict which had some positive sides also. It gives new ideas. Conflicts are the major initial stages of bringing revolutions, technological innovations like that. So, in my view, these are the four ways to deal with conflicts. Shweta, others.
Okay, thank you, Anand sir. That was really insightful. The things that you talked about, that there are some constructive conflicts also, which we should not foreign ourselves from. But in case of conflicts that are leading towards something negative, there are some constructive ways where we can have a middle path, and we can very well go for good resolutions. And a line that I'm reminded of here is there is a huge difference between what is truth and what is undeniably false. So if you are trying to make a balance between, make out between these two things, then you'll be able to listen to both the parties very well. And fact-based resolutions, empathetic approach, wider thinking, and delayed response, that gives you both time and effort to process what exactly is going on. Thank you so much, sir. Now switching on to the writer's mode. This question is to both of you. Do you two still write? If yes, can you please one by one share anything, something that you last read or wrote about? Starting with Anil.
Uh, Shweta, as I told you that the job of police is very hectic, so I don't get much time to write. Definitely, I have read so many books related to professions. Like when I was in anti-terrorist squad, I read so many books of religious philosophy on Islam, Jainism, Buddhism, Christianity, like that. Many extremist views which led to the birth of very terrorist outfit like Al Qaeda, ISIS, Boko Haram, like that. Then again, I have gone through many books related to cyber crimes because there is a time constraint. Uh, Definitely, I'm writing something from last 6 7 years, but that is also on my personal platform. That is based on my feeling and my gratitude towards my wife, and that is titled as my better half. uh, my wife is amazing partner, amazing human being. So whatever success I have achieved in last 8 years, she is definitely behind that. And how each days goes with us, I try to pin down, though sometimes I'm not successful. But uh, for writing aspects, I am doing this. Sweta.
Uh, it is always said that writers need not to be a good reader, but if readers can write as well, then nothing more beautiful than that can be. So if you are a very avid reader, I'm definitely, whenever you'll get time, some beautiful pictures will come from you. But what are your personal and professional goals that we have already listened. I would just like to ask, what are your literary aspirations? I'm definitely, we are aware that Anand sir, you have got a very hectic schedule of all among all of us, and it is very difficult, near to impossible, to take out time to write something. But again, down the line, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, what is your literary aspiration? Where do you want to reach, and where are you right now, Anand sir?
Yes. You know what type of life I'm spending these days from last 11 years. After every 2 3 days, or you may say that 1 week, some incident occurs which has some dramatic impact or some bizarre message about different aspects of life. You might not be knowing what up to what level a person can be notorious scoundrel. They may use sadistic uh, techniques to cheat people to commit crime like that, and how a innocent person suffers from that. A hard-earned money of a sorry, a middle family gets wiped in a single click, and he is just destroyed. So to get back his money in his account, somebody's children is kidnapped, some businessman is kidnapped, someone is murdered. So urgency, and there is no way for complacency. So these are experiences what I am facing from last feeling from last 11 years. I want to write down this through my Buddhist diary like that, and it may be a more enlightening aspect for common person with how they should be aware about their legal rights. They are empowered person. This is democracy. So it will be all containing a message for media also, as well as definitely some message for subordinates, how they should proceed. Definitely 11 years of my experience will be contained in that. So I think that this will be uh, having message for everyone who is related to society or policing. So this is my literary aspirations uh, for upcoming 5 years or 10 years, what you told with us.
Anand sir, let me admit, we are far away from what they called as real world. And the way you are talking about your experiences, we can't even imagine. You are so close to the most dark corners of the society that we don't have any idea of. And to maintain the sanity for last 11 years, even that is, highly, we acknowledge that. And we are sincerely waiting for that book to come up too, because that will definitely create an impact that I talked about in the starting of the session, that will make a great change to the society and contribute to the society. So thank you, Anand sir, for existing. Thank you for being in this police service and making a change to the society. Thank you so much, sir. We're looking forward. Anand sir, as a person associated with law and order, what in your opinion are some basic responsibilities that normal citizens like us, who have not much idea about the crime scenes or the all the thought process that goes behind making a crime and resolving a crime, should shoulder to curb crimes and social discontent? What the basic responsibility that we should shoulder as a citizen of India?
Shweta, for this, a common person must be aware about his basic rights and duties. What are his legal rights? What are his basic duties? Must be known to each person. It gives them a sense of confidence. It makes them empowered. First of all, it is essential. It comes through, in my view, it must come through textbooks also, because it is ignorance. Ignorance is the biggest uh, enabling agent for PT, oppression, injustice. So, second thing is that India is a is a resource scarce country, especially Bihar. Human resource in heads are good in number, but technology, capital resources, financial resources are less. Even the to depend upon administration, to depend upon everything, to complain and curse government for every pity of a common person is not justified, I think. A person who is intellectual, a person who is thinking must come forward to complement the role of administration, I think. From policing perspective, I tell you, wherever you see the crime happening or being planned, when you see a justice, a common person observe that something wrong is going to happen, they shouldn't wait for police to come, because police is not omnipresent. It is least per head population ratio in our country. So first of all, they should raise their voice against these injustice doers, these criminals. This will be a great deterrence to curb the crime. They will become afraid of people because people are in mass. Criminals are very little in numbers. They will see that no, we will not save. People are quite awakened. Second thing, they should not see administration as their competitors, which comes from different planet. They are coming from the same strata of the society. So informing them about the mishappenings, somebody is planning to commit wrong thing, these responsibility must be observed by common person. It not only makes them safe but also keeps the police on toe. If somebody calls police and police doesn't reach that, this is the technological age, he will be held accountable. Why you haven't done right thing on right time? So इन कुरुक्षेत्र, यू ऑल नो दैट इस महासमर का भागी केवल नहीं वह व्याध, जो तटस्थ हो मौन रह गए, समय लिखेगा उनके भी अपराध. So we cannot be mere silent spectators these days. It is the process of making our country, building our society a better place to live. A proper uh, conditions must be shared by everyone to make our society beautiful like garden. And also our education system, our upbringing system must be like that. Our view must be widened. It is a democracy in which thousands of different view thrives. It is the beauty of democracy that many views comes here. You told about conflict. So conflict comes, discussion takes place, and a new solution, wider acceptable solutions comes for better development like that. So it must be our educational system, it must be our parental values, ethical system, which gives children, youth to be more accommodating in nature to curb the social discontent. Because it is said in our Vedas that earth has enough resources to meet everyone's need, but not to fulfill their greed. So being connected to our philosophical context, religious context, spiritual uh, inheritage are some of the good ways to curb the rising discontent, to curb the violence tendency in youth or in society, as I think.
Thank you, Anand sir. Whether we realize or not, but our responsibilities are huge. Whether we take it or not, whether we understand it or not, but as Anand sir said, that we need to be an ally to the administrative services people to make the entire system intact and crime free. And to sum up what sir said, knowledge is empowerment. Until and unless you're empowered and vigilant about your own rights and duties, nobody else is going to help you, until and unless everything goes in vain. And we should also avoid waste, given the Indian scenario where the resources are quite limited. We should avoid waste wherever possible to help our economy grow. And one of the most important thing, we are at this stage of time where we are either going to make a family or going to prosper a family. So the ethical and parental values that needs to be inculcated right from the beginning in a child's mind, that should be kept in mind. Thank you so much, Anand sir. Anand sir, work life integration hacks from you, in 2 to 3 tips that you would like to share how to integrate work and life. Again, it's quite difficult for you to make time in the given scenario, but still, what can we
Yes,
do to come
Shweta,
out?
uh, in my official capacity, I am a very strict taskmaster, but also I give training to my subordinates. I facilitate them in about their role tasks so that their output may enhance to optimize their efficiency. And whatever I do, I tell this story in refined way to my child so that he may not feel aloof that my father is quite different from me, where he has gone, he comes in late night, he goes early in the day. Policing, sometimes when you are in field, your job is 24 by 7, but sometimes you are posted in headquarters, you get some time for your family. Then I take my family to a trip. Definitely, it is one of the positive aspect of policing that all over India we have some connections. So wherever we go, we get good lodging facility, and somebody helps us, assist us in facilitating there. So these are some of the things. Because I am a workman, this is only one aspect of life. Beyond that, I am a son, father, husband, friend, even a social worker. Because many a times, for what philosophy I have joined the administrative service might not be fulfilled in different way. So to give the social and literary aspirations of my dreams fulfilled, I have to work also. But again, planning, how I plan for my schedule, for my routine, to get some time for my family, to get some time for my friends is very important. Every task, because in police complicated crime takes place every day. When we solve one crime, before that 2 crimes are already committed like that. So in my view, proper planning before execution is very important. It is said that failing to plan means planning to fail. So a systematic hard working is very essential, and accordingly time management is essential. Physical exercise to police officers are ignored. They are not getting time for that. So family life, personal life, and some time spending time with friends are very essential. And how I can do it, or how anybody can do it in all aspect of life, that is systematic and intelligence, hard work, and proper time management.
Okay, so Anand sir, great tips for work-life integration. If you are good and consistent and well planned at your work, definitely you will be able to take out time for your family and friends. So we all must have heard about PDCA cycle: plan, do, check, and act. Be good at planning, be good at doing, be good at checking, be good at acting, and definitely you'll get a time out. So last. Question, not exactly question, the closing remarks that you would like to give to our audience before we close the first segment. Then we'll be moving towards the rapid fire question that will be rapid, quick. So, any message that you two would like to give to the audience? We'll start with.
Only one message: give your best. Even if you are doing a job of sweeper, do best sweeping so that your work may be recognized. That is important. That is the key for success. Do your best with your ability.
Thank you so much, sir, for staying with us for so long and allowing us to go deeper into the leadership labyrinth through your experiences. I'm sure our audience got a legitimate opportunity to get a step closer to their goals and dreams after listening to some great stuffs that we put together here. So now let us switch the tone and get to the fun side. will be quick. It will be completed less than 15 minutes, within less than 15 minutes. It is time for us to go to the rapid fire question. Rules are simple, that there are no rules, only one single rule, that you have to be quick, you have to be prompt in answering, no thinking before you answer. We will start with Anand sir first.
Yes,
Okay, sir, you are ready?
please.
If you were not into this police services, what would you have been?
Engineer, definitely. I was
After being
engineer.
an engineer, if you whether you would have continued in some
Yes,
engineering?
definitely.
Okay. Which season suits you more, summer, winter, or rainy, and why?
I think I enjoy all of the season. Each season has positive aspects, and I enjoy the beauty of the nature.
Okay, one more rule is there for rapid fire, that Buddha's middle philosophy will not work here. You have to be very specific and particular in your answer. The summer, winter, or rainy, one season you have to pick.
Winter.
Okay, so this is your season. Your season has started. Winter has come.
Yes.
Okay. One golden rule to counter inner terrorism.
Stay calm. Meditation.
Okay. Best advice taken in your life.
Again, give your best.
Okay, you got this advice from?
From my father, you may say. He's a very hard working person, and as well as he was very caring. So the father gave me.
Okay. We would like to hear Anand in one word. How will you describe Anand Kumar Pandey in one word?
A person who is hardworking, is systematic, as well as a caring person, a family man. So in one word, you may say a family man.
Okay. Daring at mind, caring at heart. Very nice. Book you can pick and read anytime. And time and over again.
Srimad Bhagavad Gita. That is my favorite book, and it keeps me inspired in all times.
Okay. If you are to write your biography, the title of your biography would be?
The Adventurist.
Okay. Your favorite childhood memory?
Spending time with my grandfather, grandmother, whom I lost 20 years before, was my favorite time.
Okay. You still remember those times?
Yes.
Okay. What are the two things from your past you wish you could change or erase?
I wish that my grandparents must have present during my marriage and during the birth of my child, because I was so much attached with them. My grandfather was a social worker. He was very much intellectual, as well as a very scholar person. Even then, he was not recognized in his area, but I was quite influenced with his personality. So I always miss his company, and I know that he is giving blessing from heaven. So I wish that I may have company during my marriage and during the birth of my child, because they used to say that, my son, I want to see your marriage, I want to play with your child, like that. And still I miss that. Not much that. I am thankful to God that I have given what I deserved, and I don't want to change my past much.
I'm sure they are still looking from above, sir, because I read some very beautiful line somewhere that if somebody is dead, they don't disappear, they zoom into someone else's life. So they are present in bits and pieces in you, in your children, somewhere or the other. Thank you so much. So the next rapid fire question is, what is your all-time inspiration that keeps you motivated?
I should be remembered even after my life. That is my dream, and for this I am working. That is my source of inspiration.
Okay. Which is your favorite word? One word in Hindi, one word in English. Which is your favorite word?
love, pyar. That is my
Very nice.
favorite.
Thank you so much for ending it with such a beautiful answer. Thank you, Anand sir, for being with us. Now